What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and punchy.tv. And at any point during the show, you can call in. Whoops. There we go. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. You can call in and we can get into some stuff. What we gonna get into? Who knows? You tell me. Topic at hand. Something going on at home. Your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, Trump, whatever. We can get into it. And I appreciate the calls. And if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV, or go directly to the YouTube live chat, hit the super chat button there. I'll read your questions and comments live and on air. I will. And I do, for the most part. Right on. Shout out to Lord Spike Protein with a super chat straight out the gate, sending a short, a little clip. I guess not a clip, a little image, a moving image of, I don't even know how to describe this. A dancing pair saying, "Go!" I appreciate that, Lord Spike Protein. Oh, I guess it's a super sticker. That's what it's called. Thank you for the super sticker, Lord Spike Protein. Amazing stuff. We're getting into some stuff today. I got some things I want to talk about, right? Because, we getting into the vices. We getting into the vices. For anybody that still considers themselves struggling with their sin, their vices, we getting into that. Lust, alcohol, but a specific vice I'm going to get into today. We getting into it. We going to get into it. So tell your peoples about it. Okay? Because this one is a popular one that everybody can't seem to get under control. You know what I mean? And I got some stuff that we're going to get into. So first things first, some of you guys know, just a quick little story, and then we're going to get to the steak and potatoes, baby. Medium well cooked. But some of you guys know there's this girl named Lily Phillips. Are you guys familiar? Some of you guys are familiar. Some of the guys are familiar with Lily Phillips. But Lily Phillips is an OnlyFans model / sex worker. Okay? She recently shocked the world after revealing that she had sex with over 100 men in one night. Sorry, kids. Close your ears. And she does this little documentary. She's a part of this documentary where they kind of like talk to her, right? About how she feels before and after this thing she has going on, right? Sleeping with 100 men in one night, right? That was her goal, and she did it. And this clip is going viral. It's kind of all over the place. Obviously, people have opinions about it and saying, "What the heck? What is going on?" And it's just been going crazy. I didn't really have much to say about it, to be honest. It's been going around by the past week, and I haven't covered it because I just didn't really have much to say about it. But I guess today I wanted to say a couple things, and then it kind of snowballs into my topic today. So I really only brought this to share what's going on in the news, but it's kind of like a nice warm up to my topic because, the real topic, we about to go for it. Oh, we about to hit you in the gut. Gut punch. So that's really the only reason why I brought this story. But anyway, this is from X. Lily Phillips, OnlyFans model, shocks the world revealing that she had sex with over 100 men in one night. Here is a clip of Lily explaining. This is a clip of her explaining, okay? You little nasty mind. This is a clip of Lily explaining how she feels after all that, after the night was over. We'll say it that way. Here we go.
It's not for the weak, girls, if I'm honest. It was hard.
But
I don't know if I'd recommend it.
why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like... It's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it, like...
It's not like just having sex with someone.
Yeah. Just one in, one out, like it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
Sorry. It's okay. No, it's okay. Just take
Yeah, 1 minute.
So that's a little clip there of her talking about it. There's more, obviously, of this little sit down interview that they had, but I didn't care to pull it and show you guys. I just wanted to make a couple points about it. She's crying about it, right? She feels a certain way. According to her in the other clips, some of the other clips, she explains that she feels bad because a lot of the guys, I'm going to say it as clean as possible, wanted more time with her and they didn't get it because she was just trying to hurry up and get the deed done, right? And they would pressure her or say like, why didn't you give me the full time that was promised, and so on and so forth. And she said that she felt the pressure and the guilt of that, and she felt bad for the guys that were promised something and didn't get it. So she's saying that she feels bad in that way. That's why she's crying. You know, I'm not her, so I can't say why she's crying and where it's really coming from. But what I can say is that I think that at the end of the day, you know, when she's saying that it's a different type of experience and that it's not for the weak and all these things, you know, at the end of the day, it's unnatural for a woman to be doing it a lot. Anybody really, guys or girls, to be doing it a lot. But you got to understand, how do I put this as clean as possible, is that women are the receivers of these things, right? So it's a lot harder when you're receiving, when you're on the receiving end of this stuff, right? It's a lot more sensitive and a lot more personal for them, right? Them being on the receiving end. And because of that, women aren't designed to just be freely doing all these things, right? So I would argue that deep down, the tears come from, you know, all these people just using her, being used a numerous amount of times. And after a while, you feel exposed, you feel just abused, you feel taken advantage of. And she's saying that it's because she felt bad for the guys, but at the end of the day, I think it's just her just feeling like an object. Which and this is what she wanted, right? So this is not like this was against her will. No, this is her idea. This is what she wanted. But even so, even though this is what she wanted to do, I think that internal feeling of being used and abused is what's affecting her. Because that's really what it is. right? And Lily later says in another video, her next goal was to go to bed with 1,000 men in 24 hours, right? So she wants to beat the record now. So she did 100, but now she wants to go for 1,000, right? And I don't have much to say about it. I don't have much criticism. I mean, there's nothing to criticize. She's looking for love like everybody. Just looking for love. And in the meantime, the sex work and all that stuff is filling the void. That's all it is. She's just looking for love. And she's just a normal person. I tell her, look, she's crying. Just a normal girl. But just looking for love and has found sex work and has identified with it and feels good about it and makes money from it. So she's just in that place, but just looking for love. Eventually it's going to run out, just like everything does. The pleasure is going to run out and the emptiness is going to sink in, and then it's going to be what it's going to be. But I don't have real criticism about what she's doing. That's just what everybody does. Her mom, she goes on to say as well, her mom is her financial, her mom handles her finances for the business. So her mom don't care. The dad also is in support of it, according to her too. So the parents support it. So she has no real reason to even feel any type of shame or guilt because nobody's, other than like the public comments and stuff, but that's what she's doing and she has the right to do it, right? She could do what she wants. That's what she wants to do. Then that's up to her. But as far as the tears go, I think it's deeper than her just feeling bad for these men, right? Like, it's an unnormal act to do it in the first place. One person, right? But to have that constantly happening in one night, that's got to do a little bit of damage to the mind and the idea of intimacy between two people, the idea of, there's a bunch of different things. So anyway, that's that. But that's not what I really wanted to get into. That's not even the thing. I want to talk about schmorn. Porn. I want to get into that. But also just sin in general, right? But I want to use that as an example because I'm seeing online that a lot of people have like their solutions to overcoming like porn addiction or lust and all that stuff like that. And I'm listening and there's very interesting perspectives on it. And I found, I mean, obviously, this is probably one of the biggest thing that men struggle with is the porn thing, the adult videos. And I wanted to talk about that. You know what I mean? Because I see these videos online and everybody's saying, like, you got to stop doing it because it objectifies women, right? From the spiritual perspective, it's like, it makes you, it takes man's power, right? It steals your manhood, right? It destroys your soul, all these different things. And they're like, porn is bad, porn is this, porn is that. And what is happening in the process is this demonization of porn, right? And what does that do to a person? All it does is just enhance their guilt, enhance their shame when they do it, right? That's just how it works. It just enhances shame because now it makes it seem like such a bad thing. Let me tell you, I just want to tell you that porn is not the problem to none of that. Porn is not the problem of why women are objectified, Porn is not the problem of why men, it steals men's manhood, so to speak. And porn is not the reason why men are subject to women. Porn is not the reason for that. The reason for that is judgment. Porn is not the sin. Judgment is the sin. Because in your mind, you're saying that this is wrong and this is right. So when it's wrong, you feel bad about it. But when it's right, meaning like when you're about to do it, right, watch it or do the act, it feels right. And you're identifying it as right, so you do it, right? You're identifying with right or wrong. Judgment. And judgment is the reason why guys get involved with that stuff. Judgment is the reason. Porn is not the reason. The only thing that porn does is enhance the emotions, right? Amplify the emotions to make you believe even deeper into the lie of the judgment, right? Into the lie of this is right or this is wrong. Porn just enhances the emotions. That's it. But it's not the problem. It's not the sin. Because let's say if you out of nowhere just got rich and you like cars and you just bought a bunch of cars and then now is your new thing. Now you like cars. Now you enjoy buying cars and going fast in cars. That would be your new thrill. And then the porn stuff will probably just dwindle away. Because it's the thing that's attached to the reason why you go do the thrill. And another thing I want to talk about is that this word addict or addicted, right? Am I making sense here? Am I making sense here? And then I'll get to your calls in a second. 888-775-3773. There are lines that are open. Hop in there if you want to get in on it. But another thing is that this word addict, addicted, nobody is addicted, right? There is no addict. We're already free, right? We're already set free. The only thing is that we just believe the lie in the mind. But there is no such thing as an addict. Every person, every single person, all of us, in one way or another, just want to feel better. That's it. We just want to feel better, right? So we pick up these things, right? And then some things we just like more than others. So then we obsess over that, right? And just for the simple fact of wanting to feel better. Not because we want to hurt somebody, not because we want to, no, we just want to feel better, right? The judgment has brought us too much pain and conflict. So we need something to relieve the pain. I'm telling you, every single last thing comes down to judgment in the mind as right or wrong. Everything. Conflict only comes from identifying with right or wrong. You feel good when you think it's right. You feel bad when you think it's wrong. Although it only stems from that. And nobody's an addict. We just want to feel better. So we feel better. And it ain't even a big deal. Porn ain't even a big deal. And it's not even a big deal. You watched it and what? It's only a big deal because we're taught to make it a big deal, right? If we didn't judge it at all as good or bad, we didn't judge porn as bad, porn as good, we would not even wrestle with it. We wouldn't even struggle with it. So it's just one of those things that's kind of like a setup. I'm gonna tell you guys what I believe the problem and the solution is to this, right? I'm gonna tell you guys that in a second. Hold on, let me just check these super chats. Oh, we're gonna get into the problem and the solution. What I believe it to be. You know what I'm saying? You know and think for yourself. Know for yourself and think for yourself. But let me see real quick. Let me check super chats and then I'm gonna get to that. Cause I'm telling you, it's not a big deal at all. Zero deal. If you're just stay aware of yourself. Be aware. And this stuff is not a big deal. And you'll find that you actually do it less, or you'll find that you don't do it as much, or you'll find that you're over judging yourself for nothing. For nothing. For nothing. Because that's not the problem. That's not your problem. Alcohol, not your problem. Weed is not your problem. Whatever. None of that is your problem. The problem is you're believing into the lies of judgment, which is good and evil, which came from the garden of Satan, the apple. That was his whole setup. He wanted you to eat the apple so you can believe in good and evil, the knowledge of good and evil, which is just a knowledge. It's not of God. It's not wisdom. The knowledge of good and evil. And now you got the knowledge of good and evil in your mind, right and wrong, and then you use it. That's the problem. Judgment. It is not the porn. It is not none of that stuff. And I used to wrestle with all this stuff. I used to wrestle with all this stuff. And I'm going to tell you the problem and the solution really quick so we can be off it, done, and then I'll get to the calls. The problem is that we don't know love. We don't know love, right? And some of us are learning it. We're learning what love is, right? Real love is, and we're learning how to understand it. But for the most part, when we get involved in these things or when we judge, we don't know love. Because love is no judgment, right? We don't know love. We're learning it. So that's one thing. The second thing is that we know very well hate, right? We know hate so well because hate is the judgment, right? We know hate so well. We know judgment so well. We know how to do it and we know the results that it gives. And we've been taught, and we see examples of following hate in your mind and having opinions about everything and judging everything and looking down upon everything. We know that so well, not even realizing that all of that is just a lie. It's just complete lies. And that's the reason why we have conflict in the first place. Love is already there. It's been there, and it's just sitting there waiting in the cut. In the gut. In the cut, in the gut. Just waiting. All right, the spirit within, right? Just waiting. But we're distracted by the thoughts and the lies of hate. So we don't know love, but we know hate, right? That's the problem. The solution is this. And I use it, I'm doing this in my own life. I'm only saying it because I'm doing this in my own life. And this was helping me, okay? To stop struggling with sin, to stop that stuff, is you need to stop struggling. Stop wrestling. And when I say stop, it's not like I'm saying stop doing it, whatever the vice is. I'm saying stop trying to stop doing it. Stop trying to stop doing it. Because you trying to stop the vice is the reason why you keep doing it. Because why are you trying to stop it? It's so wrong. It's so bad. It's so evil. It's so demonic. I feel bad. I feel guilty. That's the only reason why you're trying to stop it. Because you've been taught that it's bad or wrong, guilty. Stop trying to stop it because you can't stop it. Let it go. Let it be. If you do it, right? When it happens, and if it happens, right? When you do it and forget about it, right? Do your thing, whatever, right? And if it happens, do it and forget about it. Don't think twice about it. If you think twice about it, be aware that you're thinking twice about it. Don't even think about it. Don't make it a big deal. And it's not that big of a deal. None of it is that big of a deal. None of it. Not 1 ounce of it is that big of a deal. Not even a nothing. It's not a big deal at all. The only big deal is your judgment about it. That's it. Porn ain't a big deal. None of that stuff is a big deal. The prostitutes doing their little thing, that's not a big deal. Sex workers, not a big. Alcoholic, none of that is a big deal at all. The only reason why it continues to go and continues to happen is because of our judgment about these things. So all we can do is just be aware and learn throughout the process. And God will eventually start drawing us in, and it'll make more sense of why we should or shouldn't do certain things, why certain things aren't what we've been taught that they are. We'll start to make sense of it, and those things will fall away naturally on its own, right? And we won't be feeling all bad. You know what I mean? Let it go. It's fine. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. No big deal. Just be aware of yourself. Right? Don't go, if you go unconscious, just come back to consciousness. That's all. The truth is just consciousness. The truth is just being aware. That's what, just be aware. Don't worry about your vices. God is working on them. If you're giving it, if you're letting go, be like, look, take it, Lord, help me. And he does. And he does. So stop struggling and stop trying to stop. Think nothing about it. Interesting stuff. Isn't that like, that's like great news, I'm telling you. But I'm going to get to some calls. Love when I get what I need. Thanks, Joel and JLP. Right on, Marie, or Mari. Right on. Glad it makes sense. Hope it makes sense. JC from Little Rock with the super chat here. I'm going to get to the super chat first. What the? Joel telling people to stop being healthy. Keep doing the unhealthy things. Yikes. Shout out to the Lions Den. I hope you're my favorite call. I hope my favorite caller, JC, calls in. Love his points of views and the deep conversation he and Joel have. JC talk about himself. And my last thing, because JC says telling people to stop being healthy and to keep doing the unhealthy things. Never mind. I'll come back to that because I'm wasting time and I need to get the calls. Let's go to JC out of Little Rock, Arkansas. JC, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Joel. How are you doing?
All is well, JC. How are you?
I love that I got a shout out in the super chat. I love that. Thank you. Whoever said that. I appreciate that. Shout out to the Lions being hot Becca. Okay,
Nice.
so you want me to actually explain what I said in the super chat?
No, go. You can just go ahead and get to whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, well, the quick one that I want to get to, I want this off topic, and then I'll get back on topic.
Okay.
What's your opinion on discrimination in the workplace?
What is that?
Okay, so the example I'm going to use is I was on a date this weekend, right?
Okay.
And the person was upset that there were straight bartenders at this particular bar that we went to because it was a rainbow bar. And they were more upset that there were straight bartenders there. And I was like, well, that's discrimination because these people shouldn't have to be a certain thing just to work at this bar. If they're giving the right service and if they're doing the right things, then why are you discriminating against them? And I wanted your thoughts about that, being who you are.
Discriminate. I mean, I think that in times it's not such a bad thing. But I think that ultimately it is a judgment, right? Which is you don't really know who that person is or what they got going on. And it's based off of hate. But sometimes there's a necessary way to be prejudiced in things that you see. So, for example, if we talked about a while ago, if I were to see somebody walking up to me in a dark alley and they're wearing a hood, I'm going to kind of question what's their intentions, right? Because of what I've seen over the years of people who wear hoods and what they do, right? So that is a prejudice and that is a judgment in that moment, but it's not necessarily a bad one. So
is there a difference between being cautious and being prejudiced though? I think you like using those negative words like prejudice, where I'm the optimistic person. I will say it's more okay to be cautious.
Right,
because
cautious.
I remember that conversation because you specifically were saying, this was months back, and you were saying like, if there's a black person wearing a hood, you're going to be a little bit more prejudiced. And I was like, well, what about if humans? It doesn't matter what human is doing that. So I guess I am getting through to you because you changed it up a little. I'm proud about that. But yeah, I think there's a difference in prejudice and cautiousness.
Well, yeah, it's definitely cautious because you're just being aware. It's really just being aware and using what you know to, but there is judgment in there because you don't know what that person is about, but you still always want to be aware of your surroundings. You always want to just be looking at everybody because you don't know what anybody is capable of. So awareness is one thing, but as far as the bar thing that you're talking about, if they're just mad about somebody being there that doesn't act or look like them, then yeah, that just coming from a hateful, judgmental place.
Yeah, I ended up blocking that person anyways. I was like, man, you can't be discriminatory. I fight too much on the internet and things like that for me to date somebody like you. The real reason that I called was you were talking about addiction and repeating the story that you did last week about the girl who did 100, which I don't know why she's bragging about that. I personally have seen, well, I don't need to go into that, but that's not nothing new. I was more or less like you were saying, addiction. You were talking about like, addiction isn't real, addicts isn't real.
Right.
I don't understand how you can say that. There's a lot of people that get addicted to things. People get addicted to caffeine. People, of course, get addicted to pornography and sex.
No, they're not addicted to that. They're addicted to the lie in their mind about that thing. Everybody, we're already free. That's why Jesus came back to set us all free. We no longer have any ties to anything until we believe the knowledge of good and evil, which comes from Satan, that certain things are really good or really bad. then we get attached to them in that way, but we're only attached to the lie about them, not the actual thing. What do you think about
The
that?
methadone clinics and rehab clinics are just mirages. They're fiction.
No, I mean, not necessarily. There can be a true thing or two that is said in those type of meetings, right? Some meetings are probably pointless, but there may be a good thing that comes out of quote unquote good thing that may come out of those meetings and stuff like that. But all in all, I think most people are not really understanding where it's all coming from.
You call this program of yours somewhat of a ministry, correct? Like, it's not the full thing, but you try to minister to people and enlighten people. You like to say, get the truth out, right?
Yeah.
So if people are listening, if people are struggling, which I'm pretty sure there's some people struggling with like drugs and alcohol in your who listen to you and stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't it sort of a downgrade for them to call them, like, to say that they're not addicts and everything if they're struggling? Because that's why I was saying that in the super chat. We're saying it's not real. Like, you're just falling into the lie. You're just doing it. I'm like, well, there's people that have these struggles. A lot more people that have these struggles. I'm not advocating for addiction and everything, but I know there's a lot of people that struggle with these things, that life gets hard and they end up turning to the bottle, turning to drugs or whatever. And I'm not judging people who like drink, because I definitely drink all the time. I'm openly drink on the internet and stuff. So it's not, I don't think that's an addiction or anything, but I understand people go through a lot of things. So
which one sounds better? Which one sounds better, that I tell people that that they are addicted to alcohol or addicted to whatever, they're an addict, or that I tell people that they're free from that you don't have ties to that, you're actually already free, you're just believing a lie about it? Which one would be better for them?
You didn't say that up. You weren't saying that up.
I did.
You did, but also to say people are free. Yes, we are free and stuff, but it's also two things can be true at one time. Like, you are free of this. You don't need to be an addict, but that doesn't stop them from, like, letting them know they're an addict. And if they're needing help, instead of like judging them and just saying you are free from this, God has helped you. Say that, and then also give them the resources to let them know, like, but if you are having these struggles in life, you can go to the Betty Ford Clinic. You can go to the 988 hotline.
But why would I go? Why would I tell? But why am I going to tell somebody to go to somebody else instead of going within? I'm telling them to go within. Be aware. Get to know yourself. Be still. And also telling them the real issue that I believe the real issue is. Think for yourself and know for yourself. But when I tell them that the thoughts are the issue and that the judgment, that they have an opinion about what they're doing as right and wrong, and to stop identifying with that and to just be aware when you do these things and stop struggling with it, doesn't that sound more relaxing? Doesn't that sound more freeing than telling them you're an addict, go to a clinic and get medication or something?
So this addict thing goes back into that identity word that you don't like. That this what it's coming down to.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Who messed up your brain for identities? Somebody
because
messed up your brain.
To think that to have an identity as an alcoholic is messed up. Because why would you identify? Because that's not the issue. That mean, because once, let's just say, somebody takes alcohol away from you and they ban it from you. JC can't ever drink alcohol no more. Well, your desire to want to enjoy or have fun or your thrill, you're gonna find a new thrill to use, and then now that's gonna be.
I'm not relying on alcohol. I'm not reliant on that. That's the thing. A lot of people are reliant on their
maybe not
drug of
you.
choice and stuff, and that's why there needs to be these clinics, there needs to be these resources and stuff, because when you become reliant on the things you're addicted to, then it becomes even more of a problem.
Right.
It becomes
I
even
agree.
more of a problem. But
I
then
agree.
you're saying, oh no, it's not real. Addiction's not real. It's false. It's an identity that's not real.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
But
I disagree with that.
well, fair enough. But they are. What I do agree with you is that they are. Everybody really, in some form or another, rely on something, right? They're relying on something, and because of that is why we get deeper and deeper in these things. But it's because we really don't understand what's going on. We think that the liquor or the porn or the sex is the issue, and that's not the problem. What starts before that? How do you even have the urge or the desire to do that? What is that? That comes from the mind. That comes from the thoughts, right? And then you start to dig into that, then you start to realize, wow, that's where the issue lies, and not like these things. So I'm just encouraging people to get to know themselves, but question these things, and to watch yourself and learn and grow, and not to beat yourself up. So I don't see it. What I'm saying is so hurtful and mean, like you make it sound, JC. What the?
Okay, Joel. Okay, well, before I go, I have to give a report to my therapist, and I told them that I was going to ask you if I'm making an impact, if you're like listening, or if it's just like talking to a brick wall. So what do you say? Have I made any impact in these conversations that we've had for months, or is there like, your mind's never going to change?
Wait, are you saying, are you making an impact on me?
Yes.
So if your therapist is giving you advice on how you're making an impact on somebody else and making you look at somebody else, get your money back.
Well, I was talking with my therapist after one of our last calls one day. It was one of the ones last Monday or something, and I was just so upset with you because it literally seems like so many times, like we'll go in these and we'll have these conversations, and I'll think about a lot of the things you say, how you feel like I'm always defending women and different things like that, which I don't mind. But am I making an impact with you? Am I reaching towards you and stuff? We might disagree.
Right, I'm gonna answer that in a second, but that the therapist should be telling you how to work on you. Why is the therapist trying to get you to ask me if you're working on me, if you're helping me? Your therapist should be helping you.
They're wondering if I'm wasting my time even having these conversations. They're like, is it even healthy? Is it even worth your time to try to talk to people that seem like they're not going to change unless they are trying to change?
That's interesting that that's a conversation though, JC. And I'm not like criticizing you here, but that's interesting. That's a conversation, is that you shouldn't be worried about if you're helping me, just be working on you. And if you're getting through to me, because what if you're not getting through to me? Is the therapist going to say that you're not getting anywhere? Like, that's not the intention.
I'm pretty sure the therapist is going to be like, then stop talking with them. If they're not listening to you, if they're not wanting to change, if things aren't happening.
Well, you should stop trying to change me, though, JC. You should stop trying to get to me and break through to me, because I don't be trying to do that with you. I don't be trying to change you. I don't.
I think you do. Think about that conversation we had Thursday and stuff, and how you're always saying, JC, why do you identify with identity so much? Why are you worried about the cat so much? You've asked me these questions. So I think you do, because you're trying to be like, I think basically in your way of trying to do things, you're trying to tell me, get out of my mind so much. Stop being in like my imagination and stop thinking this way. I could be paraphrasing.
No. Yeah, we do have those conversations, right? We do have those conversations on the phone when we talk. But my point is, and I agree with that part. I do bring that up and say, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, in my belief. But you shouldn't be calling me to try to see if you're getting to me or calling me to try to help me or bring light onto me. No, you're trying to change me and fix me if that's the case. And you'll never be able to do that with me or anybody. Just worry about you. And if you want to call in to talk or whatever the case is and get into disagreements, that's fine. But you're not going to change me around. You're not going to change me, and you're not going to help me in that way like you think you are. And I think that maybe that's your intention, but it shouldn't be.
I think that's the answer that I need because, again, I do try to enlighten you and educate you because I think you can be better. I think you can be a better person and everything. So I think I could actually reach out to you. And I've been trying. I've been hoping that I was making an impact because, again, I see a little bit of a light within you, a little bit of an anointing within you. I've said this before, but if you don't want to change and you're happy with who you are with some of the horrible, ignorant things you say, okay, that makes sense.
Well,
I can forever appreciate our conversations, and I thank you so much for the time that you've allotted. And then I can easily I can say goodbye with peace on that. I can say goodbye with peace, and I can wish you well, and I can pray for you if you want. But I can say goodbye with that.
Okay.
I gave it my best try.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all. But at the end of the day, you'll make more of an impact by not trying to make an impact or trying to change me. Because then we'll be able to have a real conversation just about whatever, opposed to you trying to get me to see some kind of way or try to make me be more enlightened. That only makes it worse. So,
sir, we've had some of the realest conversations.
We have though.
I've had.
I will say, we have had some good conversations. That's for sure.
We've had to, and it's weird because this might be my last one and stuff talking with you, but like it's weird having these conversations.
Oh no, you're gonna call back, JC. We're gonna talk again, JC. You're gonna call again because you're not gonna like something. And
there's go. In the next 5 minutes, you're gonna say something I'm not gonna like, and I'm gonna probably make a comment. But I mean, I can't. I gotta lower my blood pressure at some point. And you bond people, y'all can raise blood pressure. Y'all can raise blood pressure. So, anyways, thank you for this. I gotta go prepare for my therapy.
All right. Appreciate it, JC. Have a good one.
Bye.
JC's gonna call again. He'll call again. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm just saying that you got to go to the source within, because I don't know what JC's therapist is telling him or I don't know the situation. So I'm not saying he shouldn't go or nothing. And if I did, that's not my point. What I'm saying is that, like, the therapist shouldn't be telling him to try to change me or something. And maybe they're not saying, whatever. That's not important because I don't know what that therapist is talking about. But the point is that you need to work on yourself. Pay attention of what's going on within you. And that's the best teacher. That is the best teacher. There's nothing wrong with having mentors or going to people you can trust and you ask them questions. There's nothing wrong with therapists, right? There's nothing wrong with these things. But when you know that they're not the answer, they may be able to say a few nice things, but ultimately they should be all pointing you back to within. But if you just watch yourself and if you just pay attention to life, just be aware and just do a little reflecting, nothing crazy. You don't got to stress out about what did I learn today? But if you just keep your eyes on yourself, and just like, that's interesting. Ask questions. Why did that happen? Why did I behave that way? Why is that different? You just ask questions, then you'll get the answers. You will get the answers. You will get the answers. And then you'll start to see more and more the spirit within that's teaching you, the teacher within. And then you'll be able to rely on that and nobody else. Not one other person else. Because you won't need it. It'll be nice when you have good conversation with people and then you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't know that. But ultimately, even the conversations are being guided by the spirit within. So that's what I'm saying. And never, ever, ever, ever try to change anybody. JC should be not trying to call in and change me. Because it's not going to work. You can't change anybody. And I remember I used to try to change people too, but me being broken trying to change. How am I broken trying to fix somebody else? I'm broken. You know what I mean? So I try to now on my show is share things that I've learned and believe to be true that I'm doing for myself though. And that have been working for me. And that's it. But at the end of the day, I could be lying. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I could be saying misspeak, and also I may want to say something a certain way, but it comes out another way. That's why you can't be trying to care about nobody else. So that's what that's about. Everybody just looking for love, y'all. Everybody just looking for love. Everybody looking for love and lost on the way to love. And some people may not find the way, but they're just in the dark, in the wilderness, in the jungle. And then we pick up all these type of thrills that end up maybe doing harm to others, but we don't mean to. You know what I mean? We're just lost on the way to love. That's it. Nobody has taught us love. Who's taught us love? Nobody is teaching us these things for the most part. We don't know what real love looks like. And we only function off of real love, right? So we're constantly seeking to live that out. That's where peace is. And we're constantly seeking to just be at peace. Everyone just wants to be at peace, but we can't find it. So on the way, just to survive, we pick up these other things. But it's not personal. It's not personal. We're just trying to survive. You know what I mean? We're just trying to get through the day, get through the pain, because we don't know love. That's just human. That's just how it is. So that's why it's wrong, quote unquote, to hate others and to judge, because everybody's just lost. Even when it seems like they're intentionally there's no such thing as somebody intentionally trying to hurt you, because if they really knew God, you would see that his way is far greater and far more rewarding and feels better than the other way. And you wouldn't do the false thing. So nobody's intentionally hurting anybody. You know what I mean? Y'all don't know what I mean. I'm just talking now. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all just be in chat calling me Beta. Beta. Joel Beta. I'm like, what the? All right, I got to end. Appreciate you guys. Oh, wait. Did Super Chats come in? I think I got a couple Super Chats. Punchy TV coming up at 2 p.m. Pacific time. y'all want to make sure you check that out. Ooh, you guys don't want to miss that. We got a guest. Make sure you guys check out Punchy TV at 2 p.m. Pacific time here. Let me just check these super chats real quick. 1 second, and then I'm gone. Harmony Grits. Sends a super chat. I think it's a birthday hat emoji with like one of those like birthday blowers. Oh, I'm sweating, y'all. Sorry. With one of those birthday blowers. Thank you, Harmony. I appreciate it. It's not my birthday though, but still appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Harmony. Carver 531. Poor Lily. All because Joelle rejected her bodysuit. Listen. Well, not really shout out, but it is what it is. Carver 531, I appreciate that. John T. Psycho, don't gut check me. I think that might be an inappropriate comment, but I don't know. Shout out John T. Psycho with the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I think that's it. I think it is. That's all for now, y'all. Lori with the I might have to read this one tomorrow, Lori. Hey Joel, I agree with what you said about reads it anyway. Hey Joel, I agree with what you said about the judgment associated with porn. Also, I think it boils down to hating women. I mean, if you have real love for women, you wouldn't get blank on watching the degrading videos. It stems from hate. What do you think about that? Well, you can't hate women without first judging them. So what I'm trying to do is just point to what I believe the issue is, which is the judgment, right? So you first have to judge, have an opinion about women, good or bad, before you can then hate women to then want to do other things. So it still points back to the lie in the mind saying women are bad or women are good or women don't love me or whatever. It all points back to the judgment about. So, but you're making sense though, in that you're in that same ballpark. But it does stem from hate, and hate is judgment. So, right on, Lori. I appreciate it. I gotta end, y'all. I'll be back here tomorrow, of course, for another episode of who knows what we'll get into, but we'll get into it. And I appreciate the calls and the super chats and the viewership and the comments. I appreciate it. I gotta go. Punchy TV coming in at 2 p.m. today. Make sure you guys check out Punchy TV, hosted by myself and 3 of my other co-hosts with a guest in there. Amazing stuff. Make sure you guys check that out. Until next time, y'all, I'll see you on the flip. Bye.